Tony Robbins there with some Thursday morning motivation for you. Goal setting, is always, has always been as important as, results in being successful. Welcome to the conversation on TOS Television Network, your digital fast Pan-African news network. I'm Ade Swasi, and you already know that the conversation is going to be engaging, educative, and quite interesting. Moving straight into happenings from across Africa, that's developments from across Africa. Beginning with this news from Ethiopia, I think it's a good news actually. So the town of Lalibela, a United Nations World Heritage Site, is the latest in a stirring of towns the military has retaken, and the Ethiopian government forces and their regional allies have recaptured from Tigrayan forces. The Prime Minister's office said on Wednesday, that's yesterday, and I'm quite happy about this news because Lalibela happens to be one of my favorite heritage sites in Ethiopia, and I was quite sad when rebel forces overtook it. Away from that to Sudan. If a political agreement signed between Sudan's Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok and the military last week is not implemented or fails to receive backing from political factions, the Prime Minister will quit, a source close to him said on Wednesday. And away from that, COVID-19 pandemic may cause an increase in new infections and deaths from HIV and AIDS and disrupts preventive measures, said UNAIDS Executive Director Winnie Byanyima in the pre-recorded interview that aired on World AIDS Day. And that's it for development across Africa here on the conversation, talking about COVID-19. That has been on the forefront. That's been on every news in the last, 3 days. Everyone is talking about the Omicron strain. And so that's why I'm going to tell you to do your part to ensure that you and the next person is safe. I'll be bringing you COVID-19 updates from across Africa right now. And then when we come back, it's a time to bring you the big story. You're still watching the conversation on TOS Television Network, and it's about that time where I tell you that you should be a part of our community. Follow TOS TV Network across all social media platforms. That's TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to the channel. That's TOS TV Network on YouTube, and of course you can stream our shows, all our content on www.tostvnetwork.com. Into the big story, that's the crux of the conversation. So today we're going to be talking about, I did mention the Omicron, variant of COVID-19 earlier that has been on every news. Everyone is talking about it. What's the Omicron variant? How deadly is it? Is it, can you evade it and all of that? And that's what the conversation is going to be about this morning. So I'm going to be talking about understanding and surviving coronavirus variant. It's as though there's no end to it. When we're done with one, then another variant is discovered, and then another variant, and you're like, are we going to hear the last of this mutation and all of that? So I'm not alone in the studio today. I have with me Dr. Sunday Olatunde, a clinical pharmacist, and he's going to be doing justice to the topic for me. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Adesua.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let's get into it. The Omicron variant here, I did say earlier, it's as though new variants keep springing up. When we're done with one, when we feel like we're able to deal with one variant, we have another variant. And now the Omicron variant has been on everybody's lips. It's like it's maybe way deadlier than every other variant that we've heard about. What is the Omicron variant really?
Okay, thank you once again for having me on the program. In the attitude of viruses, they are known to be actually mutagenetic. What do I mean is that from their gene, they change as often as possible, even before the coming up of COVID-19. Viruses generally, that's how they behave. They change easily at any little pressure on them. They change to another form. So it's a way of surviving naturally. That's how they behave. So the different types or different variants of these viruses have been named after Greek alphabets. You know, we started from alpha, from beta, from gamma to delta, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
This particular Omicron is named after the 15th alphabet of the Greek, alphabet, which is the Omicron. So that's the 15th alphabet. So it's Omicron. And in a way, there's still little information about it. Researches are still going on from one place to another. It was actually discovered in Botswana on the 11th of November this year, 2021.
Not in South Africa.
And not, and Botswana is a southern African country. You know, around that region, you have South Africa, Republic of South Africa. You have Namibia, you have Lesotho, then you have Botswana. So we say it's southern Africa. So it was in Botswana that it was first discovered. Then, because it's a region like we have in ECOWAS here, anything that happens in Ghana easily can come to Nigeria. The same thing over there. What happened in Botswana easily migrating to, South Africa. So that's the variant we are talking about, Omicron. And it's because it is, it may be, though there is no sufficient information about it, it may be more virulent and more transmissible than the Delta variant that has taken the whole show over some time now, because it has more, mutagenic sites on its, strides, more than Delta variant. In fact, double of that of Delta variant. So we hope that, in a way, it will not be as transmissible, but by the structural adjustment we have seen compared to that of Delta variant, it may be more transmissible than that of Delta variant.
But the thing, I know it might not be in your power to be able to answer this, but it's like, everyone is tired. We keep hearing, get vaccinated, and then, oh, this variant is out, and it's as though there's no vaccine for these variants, and all of that. How can we actually, as people, begin to maybe just live with the COVID variant, especially the Omicron? Because I know the World Health Organization said yesterday that travel bans is not actually going to stop the spread of it, that's not the way to go. So what can we actually do?
Okay.
To ensure we don't die.
Let me also take us a little from the background, which we ought to have laid before too. Like I said, viruses change easily and as easy as possible. We may not have had the end of the changes we are going to see. The one we call mutation is changes from the gene level. Okay, what can we do? What can the country do? What can individual do? Our usual and the generalized, methods of preventing it are still subsisting. And that's the only way we can, arrest the spread of this also. For example, the country may need to, increase the rate of vaccination as fast as possible. And apart from that, there is a need for, border policing. All the entry points of the country should be properly manned with, facilities to test, so that before anybody is, allowed to enter into the country, you are tested. And before you also leave your country, where you're coming from, you are tested. If you can do that at the, airports, at the border, terminal, at the land border, and at the seaport and all that, we'll be able to check the international, movement of this virus. That's for the country. But for the individual, our general, our usual social distancing, face masking, avoiding crowded places, and hygiene that we have always, advocated should continue. All those ones will still work even for the Omicron, because in a way, if you have stimulated immunity through vaccination, when you eventually catch the Omicron, it's still going to work against the Omicron. It may not be as effective as the one that is targeted to. Let's say it was targeted to Delta variant, but for the Omicron, it's just a little difference. It's not something that vaccine will not work for. It will still work.
Oh, okay. So, because one of the concerns that people have had, I know friends who have been fully vaccinated, and then it's as though being fully vaccinated is not defense against this new variant, because they're still studying it, and then so it's like, I cannot get vaccinated again, but then there's a new variant out. So what do I have to do? So you're saying that if you're already vaccinated, then there's no need to worry about it.
Yes, there's no need to worry as such. However, there's no vaccine that is absolutely, safe. All of them still have a little level of, lack of safety. However, if you have got vaccinated, you still have some level of immunity against this virus. You cannot be as ravaged as somebody who has never got vaccination.
Okay.
When we say you have vaccination, you've got vaccination against, let's say, Delta variant, for example. It's just a little thing that is supposed to be covered. And I believe that very soon you are going to see an updated vaccine. Updated in the sense that it's going to capture the new feature that you have in Omicron. But even the one that is targeted as Delta variant will still work for Omicron.
Okay.
It's just that may not be as what you will expect as though it was targeted for Omicron.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me on the conversation this morning. That's about it for the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and thank you for joining me and sticking with me till this time on the conversation. As I always say, you have to be a part of the community. The conversation comes to you Mondays through to Friday. But before then, follow TOS TV Network across all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it's TOS TV Network. On YouTube, it's TOS TV Network. Subscribe to the channel so you do not miss out. And of course, our website is www.tostvnetwork.com for you to stay really informed about everything that's going on around the world right now. My name is Adesua, so thank you. Please stay safe and join me again tomorrow.